What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is March the 13th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So the market was actually looking like it wanted to pull back. A lot of articles are signaling that despite CPI, there is still a potential for a very big recession coming, but PPI and also initial jobless claims had other plans. So PPI did come in flat at 0%. Forecast is 0.3, so very good for that. And then as well, initial jobless claims came in at 220,000. Forecast was 230. So this was, again, another very good scenario that played out, similar to yesterday's CPI. Right now, futures are recovering slightly. So Dow is down 0.28, S&P down 0.43, NASDAQ down 0.58. So just going into today, I think the market was somewhat worried about, again, recessions and whatever else, but essentially, today seems to be maybe a recovery day. Fear and greed index is under the extreme fear category, but given the recent data, I could honestly say that it might be pushing to the fear category soon, but let me know your general thoughts on that. Sofi is recovering, currently down 1.26%. No news, no SEC filings from them whatsoever. Shorts, they did have 2 consecutive days of them returning, and most likely, given today's data, it's fair to assume that similarly they will return as well. So 12.2% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 131.48 million shares overall are being shorted, with it at 1188 so far this morning. It is trading between this S2 and S3, so 1131 will be a strong support, and then 1272 will be the next strong target / resistance. I don't know if either of them will be touched today. Most likely it'll just push higher and gravitate towards this S2, but I think no matter what though, Sofi closing green is going to be another move in the right direction, and honestly, why not? The data is absolutely amazing. So Powell potentially could have been right. The economy is strong and whatever else. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Intel is moving up a lot and getting a lot of volume because they did announce a CEO change. It is going to be effective on the 18th though, so it's not immediate. So I think that also is a good sign, because whenever you see a immediate change, that shows that there was bad blood in some aspect, but the fact that there is a further out transition definitely is welcomed. And 3.15% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 136.1 million shares overall are being shorted. Shorts definitely did return a ton recently, so they were doubling down, so 2.46% to 3.65, and then recently over the last couple trading days they did take advantage and returned a good, probably like, I don't know, 20 million shares. So pretty good stuff in that aspect, but obviously this isn't a squeeze play whatsoever, so do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. With it at 23 and change, it is trading between these 2 points, so this pivot and this S1. So 23.35 will be the next strong target / resistance, followed by 26.70. Flip side, 20 and 17.93 will be the following support levels. I don't see these being touched. Most likely it's just going to be hovering around this pivot point throughout the day, potentially even pushing higher now with today's data. So this one is a good one to add to your watch list. I feel like there is a lot of big things coming for it. NIO is pulling back, nothing to do with the company itself, just rather it's losing momentum. And any stock running up like 17+% is going to lose momentum in some regard. So it's not really something to worry about in my opinion. But I do think that a lot of people are worried about a whole trade war type of thing playing out, where it would bring down essentially Canada, Mexico, the States, and also China. And of course, if you have China and the States going down at the same time, you're going to have a global recession. So not necessarily the best, but I think all in all, NIO is hopefully from their upcoming earnings on the 21st, that's really going to propel it higher. And they're going to say some pretty good things, but we'll just have to wait and see. It does indicate shorts are returning 5.65 million shares this morning. 15.56% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 207.84 million shares overall are being shorted. So it's interesting to see shorts return roughly around 3% of their overall position, and it still be in the red. So it does show big money is really getting out for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why, but with it at 4.99, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 502 is going to be the next strong target / resistance that you really want to watch for it to get above, which in reality, NIO has been very volatile lately, so I don't see it down and out as of yet. It still definitely could fight back and get easily above this 528. It just bounced off that 549 yesterday, and that most likely was a very key resistance because of options. So this is where probably shorts yesterday were a little bit more active than normal. But yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that. Ticker is CRVO. No recent news, no SEC filings, but over the last 5 days it is up 188.32%. So I think this one is a little bit of a squeeze play and a lot of good momentum, because 22.96% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 1.23 million shares overall are being shorted. If you're looking at trading it with at 787, it is above all the key fib levels, so I'm not really going to bring that up at this stage. But last but not least, ticker is S. So right now it is getting hit, and they did have their earnings. For face value, they actually did fairly good. They just gave very weak guidance, and there's a lot of stocks that do that lately, that they actually hit the key metrics, just the future guidance, that's what is lagging. So I think in reality, if you do like a good strong company, definitely this one might be it. It's not heavily shorted, so 4.85% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be 13.98 million shares. Shorts are increasing 250,000 shares so far this morning, but this isn't a squeeze play, and I don't feel like shorts are going to be that big of a deal. Like way back when, like shorts were roughly around 15-18% short interest. That was back in 2022, but obviously this company has really established itself quite well. It did have a good beat on earnings per share, revenue. It just was the future guidance, not necessarily the best. But if you're looking at trading it with at 16.77, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 16.36 is going to be that strong support that you really want to watch for that to hold today. Definitely hold. If not, you're going to see a pullback to roughly around that $12 range. Flip side, 22.63 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So today is probably just going to be flirting around this S1, maybe pushing it slightly higher to around that $17 range. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Do you own any of them? Is there any other stocks that you're trading? If so, drop some tickers in the description below. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.